Ah, yes, Miss Woodhull. Welcome back. Please have a seat. What can I do for you? Mm-hmm. 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 No, I'm listening. Please go on. Mm-hmm. 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 Well, Miss Woodhull, I don't understand what the problem is. Is there an issue with your new body? Mm-hmm. 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 Well, Miss Woodhull, I don't understand. If there's no issue with your new body, why are you here? Mm-hmm. 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 Well, Miss Woodhull, I'm gonna stop you right there. Once again, I don't understand why you're here. That's more of a psychological issue rather than a physical one. And at this company, we deal with the physical. I mean, how can I put this? It's like back in the days when automobiles had internal combustion engines. There were certain shops that specialized in different aspects of the automobile. There were some shops that specialized on brakes and tires, some that specialized on transmissions, some that specialized on engines. There were always certain shops that didn't specialize, and they could usually handle the more common problems on a vehicle across the board. Um, that's not how cloned human bodies work, Miss Woodhull. Yes. You see, think of us as a transmission shop. We specialize in transmissions. You're coming to us with an engine issue. Now, we do have a small team of psychiatrists who work here, and I can definitely recommend them to you. I think Mrs. Lang would be a good fit for you and your particular problem. Mm-hmm. 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 Well, no. Miss Woodhull, please don't misunderstand. I'm not saying you're crazy. No, not at all. I do understand what the problem is, even though I'm a guy. Let's see if I have this right. You were involved in a horrific car accident that was completely the fault of the other driver, and your body was horribly damaged beyond repair. Thankfully, your sternum and everything above it wasn't badly damaged. So, you were brought here. Now, I'm sorry, Miss Woodhull, but your parents signed the paperwork. They wanted you to have a second chance at life, and in exchange for providing you with a cloned body, that meant certain experiments would be conducted with experimental drugs. Now, that lasted only a year, and the particular drugs you tried out, well, I mean, the worst thing that happened is that you developed a bit of insomnia. Sleeping pills can take care of that. You just have to be careful not to take too many. So overall, I think you ended up doing quite well. Seriously, normally these cloned bodies, we provide the military with very healthy bodybuilder men's bodies. And as for the female cloned body that we normally provide, those usually go to very wealthy clientele. You were very fortunate. Normally, in a car accident like the one you were involved in, you wouldn't have survived, and if you had, you probably would have had horrendous brain damage. I mean, it's really a miracle that your sternum, everything above it, and your right arm and hand were undamaged. The rest of your body was horribly crushed. I mean, you were driving that little economy car, and the other individual had an SUV as large as a small house. I mean, it really is a miracle. Well, Miss Woodhull, as I'm sure was explained to you, even though your right arm, hand, and fingers were not damaged, it's not as though we could use them. I mean, what do you expect us to do? Cut off the right arm and hand on the clone body and put your right arm and hand onto it? I mean, it wouldn't have worked. I mean, yes, it would have worked, but you would have had severe nerve damage. I mean, honestly, it's just easier to clone an entire body, remove the head, and swap your head onto it. Well, yes, Miss Woodhull, these are clones after all. Well, no. You misunderstand. We do not have the technology to create a fully functioning, cloned human being. I mean, we can recreate a skeleton, we can recreate muscles, skin, tissue. That's easy. But something as complicated as the human brain? Oh, no. We are not even remotely at that point yet, Miss Woodhull. So all of our clones, when they first open their eyes at the end of the process, well, they are severely mentally handicapped. Seriously. Yeah, I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of them just start screaming or crying because they don't understand. I mean, yeah, it's horrible. Yeah, their brains are so warped and horribly underdeveloped. Like, yeah, it's just easier to put them to sleep and then remove their heads. Yeah, yes, like a dog that's been abandoned at the pound. You understand. Oh, well, Miss Woodhull, I didn't mean to make you cry. I mean, honestly, if we let them live, what would be the point? They're not actual human beings, they're just copies of human beings, and we are unable to copy the human brain, so they come out defective. Well, from the neck up, anyway. Oh, yes, oh, yes. But their bodies, you know, well, Miss Woodhull, we create them, we own them. They're not actual human beings, after all. They can't even speak. Usually they just drool on themselves or scream or cry. It's quite disturbing, honestly. Yeah, it's for the best. And then we just take those perfect bodies and, well, we reattach human heads, such as yours. And now you have a new body. You went through those medical trials for a year. None of the medicines that you took had any adverse effects on you except that one. And again, a bit of insomnia, small price to pay. You have a second chance at life. Oh, yes, unfortunately, sometimes we have power surges during the cloning process. Our generators take over, but the power immediately comes back on. That's nothing to worry about, Miss Woodhull. But, you know, this is neither here nor there. I mean, you didn't come in here because there was a moral issue. Now, did you, Miss Woodhull? No, no, you did not. You didn't come in here because there was a problem with the body we gave you. No, no, you did not. You came in here, Miss Woodhull, because the body you used to have was, shall we say, very plus-sized, with not exactly clear, perfect skin. Correct? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, Miss Woodhull, we do not have any plus-sized models whose bodies we clone. We don't. We have African American male bodies from male bodybuilders. We have Asian bodybuilders. We have white bodybuilders. We actually have African American bodybuilders in several shades, yes. Well, no, that's not racist. I mean, clearly, if a person used to have a light-skinned black body, they're not going to want a jet black body, are they? No, of course not. Same thing with the women, different shades, yes, yes. Mm-hmm. Now, in your case, Miss Woodhull, you were given the body of a lovely young actress. Well, no, I don't think that's really the problem. Miss Woodhull, I get it. Some of our Jewish customers don't like the fact that serial numbers are on the cloned bodies, but we have to do that by law. And unfortunately, the numbers have to stay on by law. Our attorneys are working on having that changed because we do think it's rather ridiculous. And again, our more Jewish customers really don't like having numbers on the bodies. Well, there's a reason why we put the numbers on the back by the left shoulder. Yes. Well, it's a place where the numbers usually get covered up, and the people who receive the new cloned bodies never see them. Out of sight, out of mind. Yes. And again, Miss Woodhull, that doesn't seem to be the problem for you. I mean, after all, you're not even Jewish. So what's the real problem? I see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Men. Men. Yes, of course. Men constantly flirting with you, constantly hitting on you. Every time you go outside, you get approached by men. Ugly men, good-looking men. Let's face it, Miss Woodhull, do you really mind when the good-looking men approach you? No, no, you do not. You just don't like the fact that there are ugly men who walk up to you. And then when you tell them to get lost, yeah, they're a little bit rude towards you. Miss Woodhull, our psychiatrists can help you to deal with this issue. Now, I get it. When you were a plus-sized young woman with blemishes on your natural body, not too many men would hit on you, would they? No. And the ones who did, you could deal with it because it didn't happen too often. Well, now you have a smoking hot body, 10 out of 10, well, maybe 9 out of 10. And we did give you plastic surgery to remove the fat from your cheeks. So now you have men hitting on you constantly because you have a hot smoking body. Miss Woodhull, as I recall, you didn't mind that hot smoking body. When we gave it to you, you were very grateful. Now all of a sudden, it's an issue. A little bit more than a year later, it's an issue. Well, yes, you were at our medical compound for that first year for the drug testing. Now it's been what, 3-4 months, and you're coming back upset because men constantly hit on you? Miss Woodhull, you need to know how to deal with this. I'm not saying you're crazy. I am saying that you could use some psychological help, methods to deal with all these men approaching you. No, Miss Woodhull, that would not work. No. Miss Woodhull, we cannot give you another cloned body of a plus-size woman. No, because we don't have any. Oh, our standards of beauty, who are we to judge? We are a multi-billion-dollar company, Miss Woodhull. Last year, we made just under $800 billion. That's right. Worldwide, just under 800 billion. This year, oh, easily over 100. Well, no, not 100 billion. Easily over, well, how is it? 1,000 billion? Oh, I don't know. Listen, that's why I have accountants to handle that sort of thing. Now, Miss Woodhull, if you want to, you can go out there, you can eat, you can ruin your body, you can gain tons of weight, you can have a heart attack. Honestly, we held up our end of the bargain. You held up yours. That body is yours to do with as you please. If you want to treat it as a temple, go ahead. If you want to horribly abuse it and get overweight, go ahead. We don't care. We got what we wanted. Test results of various medications that we may or may not release to the public. And you helped us by testing it out. So quite frankly, Miss Woodhull, we're doing this as a courtesy. That's right. We can give you free psychological help to deal with all of these men wanting to be with you, some of them not taking no for an answer the first time. And let's face it, Miss Woodhull, the good-looking men who hit on you, are you really that upset? No, I didn't think so. Again, Miss Woodhull, we don't have to offer you this service. We offer it to all of our clients for free. As far as we're concerned, we've gotten what we wanted from you. The medical trials ended about 3 or 4 months ago. You ended up with a brand spanking new body that attracts all the men. Well, what did you expect was going to happen, Miss Woodhull? I mean, seriously. That's like a vegan walking into a steakhouse and then legitimately being surprised that there's nothing on the menu for them to eat. Your parents signed the paperwork and you were very grateful when you woke up with a new body. The psychological help, we're providing that for free. Honestly, we don't have to do that, but we will. Now let me get you a list of those psychiatrists who work for us, and they'll help you to cope with all of these men constantly hitting on you. Yes, I'll be right back.